Hello and welcome to the Pear Blossom Press YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted across all of the socials, and I'm really excited to get to craft with the new Pear Blossom Press T ruler for card makers, and this is specifically for A2 size cards because there are some extra markings here that are going to help you align things perfectly. But the thing that I'm most blown away about, that I think is really innovative about the new T ruler, is these two jigs that allow you to position the perfect 3/8 inch and 1/2 inch border when you are creating your mats and layers on your card. So for a 3/8 inch border all the way around, what you'll want to do is cut your cardstock so that it is 3/4 of an inch smaller in both directions. So that means that you want 3.5 inches wide by 4 3/4 tall. And then to use the jig, what you want to do is actually flip this to the back side. And then I've got my card base here. And what you want to do is just slip your card base under the ruler until you're flush against the lip at the top and also the lip along the middle here. And that's going to give you a perfect 3/8 inch border so that you can come in with your next layer of paper and position it right into this corner to get the perfect border. Okay, and so look how perfect that is. Really easy to do, and it's also, for me, hard to eyeball a wide border like this, so that's why having this jig is so amazing. Okay, so now today I'm gonna use the one light on my card. And so I've got my one light here. To install the battery, it's really easy. Just look for that curved edge. You want to be able to read and be able to see the positive sign on your one light as well as on the battery. So if you can see the two plus signs, then you know you have them facing the correct way. And then you would just want to slide this in. This is the push button that actually will turn the light on. And so what I want to do is I'm actually going to put another layer of cardstock right on top. And I'm going to use the jig again to get a perfect 1/2 inch border when I go to place this layer. For now, I'm just going to eyeball it just so that I can position where I want my cupcake and where I want my sentiment. And so when I'm making a nice, clean, and simple card, I do like to have extra mats and layers. I think that just helps to frame everything really nicely, add some extra color. And so I think I might like something like that. And then what we'll do is I'll have the light shining through that little star. So what I'm going to do is first poke a hole through the star where I would like the light to shine through. And so I'll just gently start to pierce a hole there. And then now that I have my hole started, I am going to position this and transfer where that hole is onto my yellow cardstock behind her. And so now I know where my light needs to shine through, but my battery is actually going to go under this yellow cardstock. So I actually want to poke a hole through here as well. That way the light actually will shine through all the way through to the top layer. And so I'll go ahead and push this through. And so now what I want to do to get this perfectly centered, again, I want to take my Pear Blossom Press T ruler, flip it to the back side, but now this side, I want to actually use the 1/2 inch jig. So I'm going to put that over here, slide my card under, and so now you can see that part of my blue cardstock is being covered by the ruler, and I can position this just temporarily. I don't want to glue this just yet because I actually want to put a little pencil mark where my light should be, because that's where I want to position my light so that it shines through. And then I want to give this a nice little outline so I know where to stick this down. And I want to hold this here. I just want to have an idea for where the push button needs to be so that I can stamp the word push. So I think it's going to be right there. So I just want to make sure that I stamp the word push so that whoever gets this card actually knows that it is a light up card. So I think that's looking perfect. Okay, so installing this is really easy. It's just a matter of putting a little bit of glue down. You could use a double-sided adhesive if that's easier and faster for you. And that's all there is to the installation. Now I'm going to take some of the world's best foam tape, and what makes it the world's best foam tape is that it has a unique property to it where it's actually repositionable for half an hour, and then it's permanent if you just let it cure overnight. And I love the fact that you have a nice long working time with this adhesive, so if you need to reposition anything, you've got the time to do that, and it will not tear your cardstock if you have to lift it up again. And then speaking of tearing, the liner is really easy to peel off, and you don't need a pokey tool or anything like that. You can actually lift it off really, really easily. And it cuts really easily. It's also the perfect thickness for interactive cards like the light up card that I'm making today. Shaker cards is really lovely for as well, because it's going to give you enough dimension so that your shaker bits have enough room to float around. And I just cut this down a little bit so that it's it's going to give some extra support to the top there. And I don't want to take it all the way to the edge because I know that my yellow cardstock is smaller than my blue one. And I'll put that in the center there, give it a little bit of extra support. And before I actually stick this down, I want to go ahead and stamp my push while everything is nice and flat, and it's easier to stamp because I'm going to stamp directly onto that layer. So I'm using the Pear Blossom Press stamp and die set, and it's got all of the interactive words here. So you have push, pull, press, scratch off, press here. You've got blow, which is perfect for our new candlelight lights. So really fabulous. And I like my VersaFine Onyx Black anytime I'm stamping a sentiment. So right onto where I marked it. And then once that's had a bit of time to dry, then I'll erase my pencil mark. But now what I can do is I can bring this back, and now I'm looking at the 1/2 inch side, so I want to flip this to the back again because I want to use the jig. And I can peel off all of my liners. You can see how easy it is to peel this off. You don't need a pokey tool or anything to get it started. So now all I have to do is just take my next layer of cardstock, and what I want to do is position this corner right into that inner corner of the T-square. And if it's easier, you can always flip this around so that it's towards the bottom, if it's easier for you to look at while it's a little bit closer to you. So you can use this in any direction, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And if you are left hand or right hand dominant, that might also factor into what's easier. So if you're using it from the bottom like this, then you would take this corner and position it right there. And there you have it, the perfect border all the way around. So I love this new T ruler. It is so innovative. Besides the 2 jigs, which I think is the first time I've ever seen something like that built into a T ruler, you also have centering guides. So you have your 0 along the 5.5-inch edge as well as the 4.25-inch edge. And then the pink dots actually will give you a guide for 1/3 and 2/3. So if you like to position things where you're following the rule of thirds or you're following, a grid design, then that's going to help you do that. So then I've got this darling little cupcake. It's from Crafty Meraki, and I'm just gonna widen the hole a little bit, and I can glue this straight down onto my card. And I just want to get the holes to line up. You can see how bright that is. And then last but not least, I want to add my sentiment, birthday hugs. I really feel like for clean and simple cards, having something that helps you to get the alignment absolutely perfect is the key for me. Because with clean and simple, since there's not a lot else going on, I really feel like having a jig that helps me get these really perfect borders will really emphasize the clean and simple, because there is so little else going on. If it looks even a little bit off, then it's a lot more noticeable than if you're doing a card where there's a lot more going on. So here's how simple it is to create an amazing, clean and simple light up card. Super fun. Now, if you want, you can add some embellishments on top if you want to cover the whole. So something like the Trinity stamps, rainbow glitter enamel dots would be perfect. So I'm gonna put one there in the center of our star, and then a couple more throughout the card as little accents. And I love that these come in so many different sizes. So it's really nice to just sprinkle a few throughout the card. And you get so many on a sheet too, so you can be generous with them. All right. I think on this one I'll do a third. And there we have it. A really awesome, clean and simple light up card. And if you have been waiting to get yours, it's available in the shop now and you can order it. I'll leave links to everything in the description box below, and that way you can check it out if you'd like. Thanks so much for checking out this video today, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.